everybody, welcome to DevLive. This is a new edition where we will have live speakers that will be present at DevTalks 2022 and also dear partners. I'm Andrea Balach. I'm happy to be here together with our guests, and let's find out what the agenda for this year prepares for us. I'm today together with Laurentiu, development lead and author at Endava.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Laurentiu.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, taking your time. It means a lot for the team.
Thanks for inviting me.
Let's start by having a short introduction about you and, I don't know, the IT component in your company.
I like to introduce myself usually as a simple software developer, although I'm leading a team in Endava now. Endava is the company I'm working for. I'm an author. I'm writing my third book now with many publications, and I'm an unusual speaker and an active member of the community in Romania and worldwide as well. About the company, a lot of the people already know Endava. It's a large company, and we are extending a lot, but that's not a surprise. Yeah, I think there are less that I can say than you can find out via the news.
Okay. Let's talk about how did you start your career? What do you love most about? What are you doing now?
So people who know me, they know that I love the most working with Java. So working as a software developer, that's what I'm doing. So coding. I've started with this more than 10 years ago, and I continue liking doing that. However, I found out, and I continue to have this opinion that in our job, coding is not the main thing you are doing. Actually, coding is just what happens as a consequence of you learning continuously. So the perception of what our job is as software developers changed a lot in the past. I consider now that the role of software developer is continuously learning, and the code, the quality code that results is just a consequence of the learning activities. And of course, due to that, I also consider very important helping others, sharing your knowledge, and I believe that anyone can share something, no matter their experience, how many years they work in the field. Even if you have a few months in the field, you might have already learned things that people who have many years don't know, because the field is so large and we have so many things to learn here that you don't need to be afraid you don't have what to share. I do encourage everyone sharing knowledge, and that's how I ended up presenting at large conferences, events, small and large events, writing books, having a YouTube channel, writing a blog, and so on, because the activity of sharing the knowledge, first of all, helps others. Secondly, helps me learning and continuously keeping me in touch with the changes in the field, which in the end, as I started as a consequence, makes me a better developer. So that's what I encourage people to do. That's what I encourage other developers to do. Learn by sharing, and then they will find out that this will help them become better developers without even having to think about it.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned previously in your comments that the developers and code have continuously developed change, and to this year, in addition, we have Artificial Intelligence Innovation Humanity Reimagined as a team of DevTalks. How do you see the future technology in humanity? What are the trends? What's the evolution?
Okay, the future of technology, that's something I can share a lot about. The future of humanity saddens me a bit in the current situation, but I will skip over the political subjects. The future of technology, so it's pretty clear that we are going into a direction of taking into consideration more and more the security part. While you mentioned artificial intelligence and machine learning, this is actually, in my perspective, not necessarily something new. I see for already many years the artificial intelligence and machine learning field being developed. It continues to go into that direction, and it's clear some component of the software that will be indispensable. It already is indispensable. It will become more and more indispensable in the near future. A lot of things that you see today are as a result of artificial intelligence and machine learning components in the software you are working with. Even the simple ads that you see when you watch a video on YouTube or some other social media, they are strongly influenced by artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies. Security itself nowadays is strongly influenced by artificial intelligence and machine learning. And while this is not my field, so I'm not working directly into artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can't you can't keep observing that this field is influencing more and more our day-to-day work. As in terms of software in general, I think security is and continues to grow in importance. It has, in my perspective, always been very important. If you will watch sessions that I recorded some years ago, you will find me defining security as a paramount component in software development. But as I stated also in the first chapters of the first book I wrote, Skill Security in Action, I do consider that still developers don't treat it at the importance, at the high importance it should be treated. And as I always say, security is a component that should be treated from the very first stages of the development of a piece of software. So whenever you write a piece of software, before thinking about the logic, before implementing the business logic, which indeed might look as being the most important because that's what your clients buy. When you write software, your client won't necessarily be very aware of the security, the performance from the very beginning, other non-functional requirements, how we call them. They will be more aware of the functional requirements, so the logic that they pay for. Still, when you build software, you need to pay attention to the non-functional requirements, and security is one of the most important. And we see that especially unfortunately today with the political situations, where only now we see some of the large companies rising budgets for their security departments. So somehow we still ended up making something that should have been always important. We end up making it important only when we figured out we can't stand without it. But I think security will continue to grow, and we will learn basically from this experience. From now on will never stop. And artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are components, development components that influence all the capabilities that we implement, including the security capabilities. You can implement using machine learning and artificial intelligence techniques parts of the security modules that will help our software be better and stronger, reliable, have less vulnerabilities from all the points of view.
Yeah, security was the main, I think, concern in the last 2 years of pandemics, and now taking maybe into consideration the future challenges or changes that you proposed. How do you see the role as a developer in the next 2-3 years, or how do you see Endava maybe in the next 2-3 years?
Okay, the role of a developer in the next 2-3 years, Endava in the next 2-3 years, let's take them as two separate subjects. I think they are. Indeed, the security part started to be more important with the pandemics, because when we went working from home, we ended up figuring out that suddenly it's not only your company network that should raise to some security standards. It's not only its infrastructure that should raise to some security standards, but now everyone is working from anywhere. So you have to figure out, first of all, that your employees are well trained enough and they cannot represent the vulnerability in your company. They know that some kind of emails could be could represent threats. Their simple network, their simple home network, now they are working from there. So you should find the ways in which you make sure that their infrastructure, their home infrastructure is good enough. And now we continue going in that direction. A couple of years were not enough, from my perspective, to figure out everything. And because of that, I think we will have to continue growing in this direction in the next years. And I do consider we need to grow into this direction, because I don't see now suddenly things changing back to how they were. So I don't see developers going back to work in the offices, at least not 5 days a week as it happened before. So that's the perspective from the software developer point of view. From Endava's point of view, and I want to mention that is Endava is facilitating a hybrid model work, and that's a very interesting point to consider, because one of the things that some of us were missing when working from home in the past couple of years during the pandemics is socializing with others. And we have to be honest, some of the things we don't only write code. So unless you have the opportunity to socialize with others, for some of us at least, things might be very difficult. Might become very difficult. I was one of the subjects where at some point I felt that the things became really difficult, especially because I'm very much into socializing, meeting new people, discussing. I was used to go to large conferences, shake hands. It was impossible for me, even a couple of months after we've been in lockdown. I was very, very affected by this. Now, hybrid means, and I want to be very specific with this, it's your choice, it's the developer's choice where they work from. Because at the same time, I know, and I've seen even recently on social media, developers complaining about getting requests of working from the office, even maybe one day or a couple of days a week. And it's very important to understand that it should still be the developer's choice where they work from. And fortunately, Endava imposes what I call a real hybrid model, where it is the developer's choice if they work 0 days per week from the office or 5 days per week from the office. So it's literally your choice if you want to stay home and work from there, because you are more efficient when you work from home rather than going to the office, or it's your choice if you want to go 5 days a week to the office. And I've seen people, three kinds of people between my colleagues. We have people who actually stay 0 days a week in the office, so they only work from home. They continue doing so even after the office has been opened already many months, I think already many months ago. I see people going 5 days a week to the office. So I have colleagues, it's not me. I'm not one of those going 5 days a week, but I have colleagues going 5 days a week to the office. I've seen them. I ask them, this is what they like. It's their choice. And people like me who are going maybe 1 day, 2 days a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Very comfortable depending on what other activities I have to do home. Yes. You don't have to be against any of this. If your developers want to work 0 days a week, I do encourage allowing them working 0 days a week from the office. That's what they believe. That's what they believe is making them more efficient, and it's rather more likely that they are right If they believe that this is making them more efficient, then this is what really is. It's making them more efficient. So don't disallow them work from home only if that's where they feel safe, but that's where they feel comfortable. And I do agree with both sides that indeed going to the office, and that's why I'm going, helps into socializing, and there are activities like training activities, presentations, knowledge exchange in general, which is better when you are face to face. And that's why, for example, we meet here face to face, and we didn't make an interview via Zoom, because it's much better to discuss face to face. But at the same time, it should be the developer's choice. So when you say hybrid, in my perspective, it's not a real hybrid unless you allow the developer choose what they want. And you as a developer, I've seen many developers being very against going to the office. Don't be. If that's what you feel, okay, nobody should be, and nobody is against you. However, don't be against those who want to go to the office as well, because, for example, I, who is one of those going to the office at least a couple of days a week, I'm doing that because I feel more comfortable going to the office and enjoying some days, at least a couple of days a week, with my friends, my other colleagues. And the office, that's one of what I know Endava's purposes in the near future, because you asked me about the future of Endava, is reorganizing the offices such that they are applicable to the hybrid work. Meaning, and if you are going to visit, I do invite you to visit our office in Bucharest. It has been redesigned in such a way in which it has more collaborative areas, including cafeterias, including a barista, rather than desks. Because when you go to the office today, and in the future as well, that's my opinion what will happen, when you go to the office now, you are not going to the office to look for a desk, you are going to the office to look for socialization. So it makes sense to reorganize your offices in a way in which you encourage your employees to socialize. If they wanted desks, they would have stayed home. It's fine enough. They have a desk at home now. For sure, they have arranged one in at least the last couple of years of pandemics.
Yeah. The social part should be something custom, something flexible for each developer to feel comfortable. The social part, we miss it, so that's why maybe today we gather here and we're having a live interview face to face. So it's a small step ahead, and now we're moving slowly to the hybrid format of a conference, not only in offices, but also in conferences where everybody should feel comfortable to participate, but also to stay home if they want to interact with the speakers like this. So I think it should be something custom, yeah. Now moving to the DevTalks agenda and DevTalks partnership. So you chose us, Endava, as a gold partner, and we're happy to have you as partners for so many years. Why did you took the leap of faith for joining DevTalks this year also? What's important for Endava to participate in DevTalks?
So I think that's already known by a lot of people that Endava is a lot into helping people upskill. And one of the main components of helping people upskill is allowing them find good content where they can learn from. And conferences around the world is one of maybe the best choices of having or finding good content, because you find fresh things about the technologies you are using, you learn about success and failures of others. Anybody's able to apply with a call for paper and get accepted and share their knowledge. So we have always been into conferences and encouraging our people to go to the conferences. In Endava, we have what we call communities. The communities they are formed by people interested in the same subjects. So for example, Java. Let's say we have a Java community. Each delivery unit has their own local Java community, and then we have also regionals and the group community, which means the whole Endava community, and we deliver internal presentations. But that's not enough, even in an outsourcing company where an outsourcing company has the advantage of having different projects. Like it's not like a product company where you have one or a few products that you are working on. In outsourcing, you have as many products as teams you have, and Endava has a lot of teams around the world, and that's a great advantage. So because we have so many work on so many different products, we work so many different technologies, we work with so many different approaches. You have a lot of experience there, and people who can share their experience, but still it's not enough. You still want to hear from outside of the company as well. And it makes sense to attend and sponsorship these companies. I do encourage all, by the way, I do encourage all the other companies who are watching us right now, or maybe they will see the recorded session, do invest in events, do invest in different conferences, and of course, in our case, I would say especially in Romania, because we want to grow the community here as much as possible. That helps you as well. So as a company, it helps you through the knowledge your people will gain from that conference. And I can't tell you, I'm attending conferences both as a speaker, as an attendee for many years now, and I can't tell you how much does this help me. So do encourage your people and do sponsor conferences, because it makes sense for you as well.
Thank you. That's an important part for the IT community. And also, I'm happy that you mentioned Romania, because yeah. DevTalks have grown a lot in Romania, but also we're happy to have more than, I don't know, each year more than 50 international speakers that help us grow and be present with us here. You will have two of your colleagues on Women in Tech stage. Yeah.
Yes, I know about them. I've heard that. Great.
Yeah, so this is an important role for us. When we started designing Women in Tech stage a few years ago, 5 years ago, we wanted to grow the percentage of women present at DevTalks. So we have now 30% almost at DevTalks present, and we continuously want to grow that percentage. But I'm curious if you have a sneak peek on the agenda, on the keynotes, on the content that you want to bring to the audience.
Yes, first of all, it's great that you encourage that. So I think that in general, women are a great component in tech, and they do a great job. So even in all my teams, and even in the current team, I have a lot of girls working on code. They are excellent coders. They write qualitative code. They are very attentive to details, which is something, for example, I miss. It's because maybe it's more difficult for me to focus on the details, but they do focus a lot, and then I really appreciate the work they do. I think that's the case in general. For example, I know Endava has about 50% of men and women in the company, which is great. What I think it's missing for the women in tech is that they need more push on encouragement, on allowing them talk, because for some reason, even if they are really appreciated, and I can't talk for other companies, but I know that in Endava women are really appreciated. They still seem not having the courage to go to step on the stage and tell us more about the way they see the way they write code, because it's a small of a difference, but they sometimes do a better job than men do. Because if you will take a look on how we are built, men and women, you will see that we have different advantages and disadvantages, both helping us be better in some way. Combining together, we are excellent in all the directions. We have two colleagues who will present on the Women in Tech, and I'm very happy to have heard that. And I can only tell you that their talk will be somewhere around the imposter syndrome, which is a very relevant subject, since the imposter syndrome affects both men and women, and it's not even related to the seniority of the developers. Some would say that imposter syndrome is related maybe to junior developers. That's wrong. It was actually yesterday or a couple of days ago, someone asking me on LinkedIn about their step towards the team lead role, and they were saying, well, I'm feeling once I stepped to the team lead role, I'm feeling that I'm not doing the same, because suddenly I'm not writing code 100% of my time. And I was telling them, I was replying them, yes, but you bring value in a different way. And we all bring value in these different ways in the team. And this way, the team is like an engine. You need all the pieces, and they work differently, but the whole is composed by the work of all the pieces in the engine. And you don't have to see yourself as not bringing value anymore because you don't write code, because value is not necessarily only in the code. So you see, this is an example of imposter syndrome, and it's clear that it's a subject that might be affecting a lot of developers. It might create stress. If you don't know how to overcome it, it might make you, by contrary, less efficient. And that's why you need to know how to overcome it. And I do invite you to see the presentation, of course. You will for sure have excellent things to learn from it. So don't forget Women in Tech, Endava stage, imposter syndrome.
Thank you. That was a great introduction to the keynote. We are looking forward to it. So I think you actually received this question a lot, not only during the days where we had a conference in a physical location, but also now. What does it take to, I don't know, 2, 3 reasons to be a specialist in Endava? What does it take to work for Endava? What should I have?
Okay, why should I consider Endava when I, for example, when I want to change my job, or when I want to start as a developer? Why not? Because we have plenty of students, and one of the things that I love about Endava is that it's helping students grow from even the first years of the faculty to becoming a specialist in their field. We have colleagues delivering trainings in the University of Bucharest, and creating events for juniors in general. So I want to say that, first of all, the company helps you become a specialist, starting with when you are just a simple student. You might not know a lot of things, but you will learn very fast a lot of things. There are many reasons, honestly, there are many reasons why one would join Endava, but my favorite, because I can't talk about all of them, there are too many. My favorite is the personal approach, the fact that you are, first of all, not considered a resource, but you are a member of a team, you are a person, you are a friend. You find other friends to discuss other stuff than not necessarily work. That's, as I was saying a bit earlier, one of the reasons I'm going to the office, even if I'm not forced to go to the office, and I'm still going to the office a day or two a week. And the company helps you by different means to grow, to upskill. And which are these different means? One of them is the community. I was talking about the community earlier as well. Second one is giving you access to any material you need. If you need books, you will get books. You need video tutorials, you will get video tutorials. You get accounts on where you need. You just have to require them. Do you need a certification? You will get a certification. So that's on the company. because we focus on growing people, making them better, of course, at their own will. We do encourage them and we do offer them all the things we need, from internal relationship with other colleagues who are experienced and they want to help in the community, to outside materials and certifications that they need and they want to get. That's my favorite, the personal approach. That's my favorite. There are, again, many other reasons, and I do invite you, if you want to know more about all the others, why not make us a visit. Visit us at our office. You will see, at least in Bucharest here, the excellent office we have. It's a new brand one, a lot of terraces, in a lot of interaction areas. You will love it. We can have a coffee. I can tell you more about, not necessarily me, maybe some of my colleagues can tell you more about why do we enjoy working here.
Definitely, it's a place to visit. Yeah, it's close actually to my home, and I usually go by your office, and I'm very happy that you've built such.
You can see from down below the large terrace and the
yes.
Irish pub, so it's
and really close to the park area, so green and so vibrant. I don't know.
Since a week or two ago, when the sun started to shine a little bit better, we started working actually on the terrace. Some of us, when it was warm enough, it's very, very comfortable and relaxing. The terrace even provides you sockets to plug in your laptops if you want to work from there, so that's even better. Or of course, you can just stay and then drink your coffee there, cappuccino, whatever you want. So it's your choice what you want to do, and it just helps you relax, work relaxed, whatever you want. It's a great place to visit.
Yeah, it's really nice that it's more custom now, and the offices are really close to a cozy atmosphere, close to home, and it somehow creates the space for the hybrid generations.
Yes.
So I think we're getting close to our interview, but I have one more question, and this is my favorite part, because this is a message for the IT community. So if you have a message for the IT community and want to deliver it now, be our guest.
Any kind of message.
Yes.
Okay, I would have a lot of, and I do share everything I want to share usually, because I have a YouTube channel and a lot of people watch me. So I have a lot of chances, but I'm very, very happy that you let me share it even through more other channels. So first of all, please do understand that and I said that earlier, your job is not about writing code, but about learning. This is something any software developer should understand. Second point, do remember that you are not, as a software developer, not better than anyone else. A lot of software developers seems to have forgotten that and treat themselves as, I don't know, something like they believe they are superior just because they see maybe a lot of people search for them on LinkedIn and so on. You should stop that behavior in case you are falling into that direction. Do remember that you should take time for yourself. I do recommend all the software developers, first of all, a few hours of sport per week. So what kind of sport you'd like? Some of you might like to play tennis, others they just go to the gym, others they go swimming. If you don't do that, very shortly it might become a problem for you. That's basically something that an advice that can be given to anyone working at an office. If you stay on a chair many hours a day, do something, whatever that is. Do remember you should train your muscles as well. And very important for everyone, do bring in, for every software developer especially, do bring some artistic activity in your life, whether it's painting, music, writing something that also trains learning foreign languages, for example, something that trains the other side of your brain, because if you only stay with coding, you will find out that at some point you will become less and less efficient because you didn't pause and you didn't allow your brain to relax on one of its sides by preferably making it work with the other. We have two sides of the brain. One of them is more artistic, the other one is more mathematical. You are usually working with your mathematical side of the brain. Do not forget, it's like when you go to the gym, if you only train your arms but not the legs, then something will not be good there. It's the same thing here. It's not that easy to see as in the case of going to the gym, but it's still something that you will observe in a short to medium, in an average time in the future. So these are, let's say, my 3 advices for now. There are many others, but if you want to hear me more, I know I'm talking a lot. I was still telling them to stop me if I'm talking too much. But if you want to hear me talking even more, then you can anytime follow me on all social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and you will hear me speaking about many other subjects.
Thank you, Laurentiu. This conference is about talking, so feel free to use the space.
It's DevTalks, isn't it?
So I'm very thankful for this warm message. I think it brings a personal touch to the conference, and also you as a partner for DevTalks. It was a long collaboration, and we will also work with you for some great speeches on Java.
I will be a moderator of the Java stage, by the way, guys. So 8th of June, if I'm not wrong,
yes,
that will be, join me on the Java stage. I will be the moderator. At the end of the day, we will have some beer and live coding event together. So we have time to meet in person, discuss. I will probably bring some of my books. So a lot of chances to chat there.
Yes. So we're preparing a great surprise, and keep in touch with you till then. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day ahead, and we'll meet sooner than you think, because tonight we have another live interview with one of our speakers. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, waving goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers.